Hello everyone, I'm Claire Marie B and welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new to bullet journaling or new to my channel, welcome. I set up bullet journal spreads every month with the intent of being more productive myself and creative, and I share them with all of you. So this is me taking you on my bullet journal journey, which started during lockdown in 2020. That's when I discovered bullet journaling. Today I'm going to be taking you through my monthly setup for August, and my theme is sunflowers. Oh, I've just been seeing the most gorgeous sunflowers all over this in the last week or so. So I just felt this was the perfect theme for August, and basically have a page covered in sunshine. That's what I'm doing. I'm starting to do the flowers by doing all the individual petal outlines first and filling this in. I know it may look a little crazy. It's all going to make sense when I then do my outliner over the top of it. So please just stay with me. It's going to look much better soon. The reason I chose to do it this way is I love my Tombow pens. I know they're quite expensive. If anybody's looking or just getting into bullet journaling and thinking, oh, you've got to spend an awful lot of money on things, you really don't. I started out with, and I still use Crayola Super Tips an awful lot. I love those pens. There's just an unbelievable rainbow of colours that you can get for those. So please don't feel that you have to really spend an awful lot of money. Once you get going and you find the right things for you, that's when I then moved over into using the Tombow pens, because they do take a little bit of practice as well. But what I do find with the Tombow pens is when I'm using lighter colours like the yellow that I've chosen to do here, the tips can pick up some of the ink or and just generally pick up, the lighter colours pick up, I guess, kind of the dirt, the pencil, the black ink from the page a little bit. So I tend to, when I'm doing colours, when I'm doing things like this and using a heavy amount of the lighter colour, I like to draw that out in advance. Yeah, I get some of the pencil that gets picked up on the pens, but then I do the outliner over the top, and now you can see after I've done the outliner, it looks much more like a sunflower and a whole host better than it did with the jaggy edges of the yellow. The other thing that I always do, and you'll be able to see here, is I do sketch out in pencil in advance. That's partly because I'm not the best at all the spacing, and sometimes I like to play around. You'll actually see that when I finish the design, I end up changing one of the smaller sunflowers into a bigger one anyway. As I was building everything up, I thought, oh, that's going to look a lot better. And that's the benefit for me for sketching things out in pencil first. So that's why I do that. It's also a little bit of the pressure and the nerves. If I have to sketch freehand, which I've done a few times on my videos, you can guarantee if I draw something over and over and over again and practice, the minute that I then turn that video camera on, it's going to mess up just because it's the pressure of doing it. So that's why I'll always sketch out as well, to make things as easy and simple as possible for myself. I toyed with doing sunflowers in July and just couldn't land on the way that I really wanted to do them. I drew a lot of different versions, and then something just clicked when I did this one, and it felt like, yeah, the right thing to do. But I just love how it ends up just looking like sunshine on a page, and I think I needed that. We've had a lot of sunshine in the moment. We've gone through our heat wave, so maybe I've just got sunshine on the brain, but it just felt really nice to have a page of sunshine. I've also foregone my quote page this month because I really wanted it to be all about the sunflowers. I don't mind foregoing a quote page. As I've said before, this is something that I put a lot of pressure on myself to be creative over that. I guess I have had a bit of a creative block for a few weeks. I think it's because I got really far behind with myself on all of the planning and everything that I was doing because I had work trips and holidays and everything else. Usually, as you all know, I'll post a little bit earlier than I have been doing. I think I've just got a little bit behind, and once I get back in front, I'll feel less pressure, like creative pressure in that way. I think I'm giving myself a really short amount of time to be able to actually come up with the ideas, and that's what's causing me the problem, whereas I like to have a good bit of time to play around with different things and then and enjoy the creative process. So here's my August lettering. I've gone for it with my dual brush pens and wanted to do brush lettering. I'm just neating it up a little bit after having done that. And then that's the last bit of the inside of the flowers. And here we are on with the calendar page. I decided to keep the lettering consistent and do the brush lettering on this page and just tidy it up a little bit with my black pen. I'm not sure if this happens to you if you do brush lettering, but I find sometimes when I'm doing the light upstrokes, it can go a little bit almost like wobbly is the best way I can describe it. I think it's because obviously I'm not doing it enough. And I'm sure that with more practice that'll get better, but the black pens are really good to be able to then just neaten up the edges a little bit. Of course, my trusty Dutch door is back. I'm thinking of doing something a little bit different next month around my to-do list page. I do love a monthly to-do list. The way I use this to-do list is I put everything down that I know that I need to do in that month, because most of the things I haven't decided exactly when I need to do them at that point, or it won't matter from one week to the next. Then I'll either put them into a week if there is a specific week I know that I then want to do it as we go through the month. Or if there isn't a specific week, then I can come back to this list and tick them off, and then I'll have some weekly to-dos that I put into my weekly spreads as well, so I won't always carry everything over. It seems to really work for me. I was finding that I would put things into my to-do list on individual days so that I didn't forget to do them, and all that was happening was I was just carrying them over from one week to the next because it didn't really matter that I didn't do it that week. And I'm the sort of person who loves a clear to-do list and I've done everything that I need to do. It was actually having a negative impact on me. I was feeling like, oh, I haven't been productive enough and look at all this stuff that I didn't get done. So I was actually super critical of myself because of it, and I was feeling really negative. So this was an easy way for me to fix that problem, because there's no need for me to be overly critical because I didn't need to do them in those weeks. I've used my new washi tape this month with the lettering, like the writing washi tape. I love it. It's going to be making an appearance all the time. There's no point in hiding that. It was perfect with this theme to put that in. I also found a cute pack of yellow washi tapes in my cupboard and decided to use that as well this month. Probably haven't used it to its full potential. I may need to use those on my weekly spreads, or I'll probably come back and jazz things up a little bit through the month. I like to do that and add through the month. On to my planner page. I've found a good routine with this planner page now. Apologies if it's starting to bore people. Do let me know if you want to see any different things, or if you've got any ideas of different themes or things you'd like me to do. Feel free to put it in the comment section. I do read all of your comments. I may not be the best at replying really quickly. Apologies for that. But I will come back to you, and I do read everything that everybody puts, and I really do appreciate each and every comment and view and like and subscribe, so thank you all so much. It really does mean an awful lot to me. So for this page, I use it to plan out what I'm going to post on Instagram. Again, because I've got so behind, I'm not as organized at the moment and using this like I was previously. So I'm going to take some time in August to really plan things properly and get back into doing my journal routine. I know that that's what will happen, and I feel much more productive when I do that. I just need to get a bit of a handle on things. I don't know if you tend to feel like that when you're not being your most organized self. You end up feeling like you've got lots to do, or it can be a bit overwhelming. And actually, it's just about creating my lists and just getting a bit more organized makes me feel so much better. That's what my focus is going to be for August. See, I need a focus, not a quote page this month, don't I? So that's what I'm going to have, an August focus. So I may write that in my notes section on this page. I thought I'd bring in some of this lovely pinky purple check washi tape as well. I felt like it just needed an extra colour as I was going through the bullet journal spreads. We're now on to my mood and habit trackers. For my mood tracker, this is where I've started to focus more on productivity. I have noticed the trend. I've been using that this last couple of months. So where I was just explaining, I'm definitely not using everything to its full potential. This is one of the ways that I can see that, because I've not even been completing the mood tracker all the time. So that's one of the things I need to improve on. But also, it's not been for productivity. I think I've found that I'm not completing it when I know at the end of the day I haven't actually been that productive. It's almost like I'm not wanting to keep a record of it. Therefore, that's what I'm going to need to do, is really focus on being more productive. And here you can see me making a nice little mistake. I've put an extra petal in, so we have more days of the month than necessary. So I've used my white ink pen to just go over that, and I'll go back over that again a couple of times as I go through the month to get rid of that. It's really good at covering things up when you use those pens. For my habits page, I'm doing 6 things that I'll track daily. That's what I'm drawing out in the yellow boxes at the top of the page. And then I have a section for weekly and a section for monthly things. I need to have a little bit of a think about what it is that I want to track. So these pages are going to look a bit sparse at the moment, because the whole point is that I populate these throughout the month. I also found that sometimes I'll change my mind at the very start of a month. So I wanted to give a little bit more thought over the last few days of August we are now. And I'll think that through a little bit more about what I'm going to track weekly and monthly, again, to get me back into that really productive mindset that I know that I can be in. And I have to get productive. I'm getting married in a few months, so I've got all that to organise at the same time as everything else. So I'm juggling a lot at the moment. Okay, on to my memories page. This is my most simple and basic memory spread yet. Again, as I've been going through the month, I found that I'd restricted myself by putting too much onto this page in advance and not leaving open space so that I can have landscape or portrait photos and change my mind as I go along through when I get to the end of the month and I see what pictures I've liked. For that reason, for this month, I decided to just do a box of TV and movies, and then just do my box of my word of the day. And from there, for the rest of the month, I'll then do some doodles. Once I populate and put some pictures in, then I'll draw in the sunflowers and take up the extra space. So that's why it looks a little more sparse than usual. And here's my final flip through. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you liked the video. If you do, please tick like and subscribe to be notified when I release future content, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.